Welcome to a very special election episode of the Real Talk Lineup. I'm your host, Jojo.
And I am Ronni Cole.
And I know everyone is talking election coverage, but I feel like we're here just to make fun of Trump.
Absolutely.
Up next on the Real Talk Lineup.
They have to be following him every moment of the day.
J-Lo getting divorced?
He still contributed to society.
I think maybe marijuana.
That is not obvious. How did that happen?
I would be too afraid, but sometimes I'm like, man, I need a little boost. Okay, I want to make a disclaimer. We are not political news reporters.
Allegedly.
We are doing this for the pure enjoyment of making fun of Donald Trump. We do, however, encourage you to make your voice heard and vote for whoever you think will do a fantastic job as president of the United States.
Absolutely, as long as it's not you know who.
Yeah. So I just feel like there's so much information to try and absorb when it comes to a presidential election.
It's so intense.
It really is. And like, I don't feel like you can really, unless that's you spend all your time like going through it, there's just so much stuff like you can't really figure out everything that's on the one person's agenda.
Yeah.
But the fact that one of our candidates spews so much misinformation is just mind-blowing.
It is it's excessive.
It is.
I don't understand how he's still able to do and be who he is. After a while, you would think he's just not credible enough to be a leader.
Don't think he is. I think a lot of people agree with me. Like during and after his presidency, Donald Trump made tens of thousands of false or misleading claims. Like the Washington Post fact checker recorded over 30,000 claims during his term. That averages out to about like 21 false claims a day.
Every day.
And like, I don't even make 21 statements in a day.
Exactly. Especially.
It's like a 2-year-old who just says whatever.
Yeah, that's how I describe him. He's a toddler.
Yeah.
A big, huge toddler with too much power and money.
Yeah. Commentators and fact checkers have described the extent of his dishonesty as unprecedented in American politics. And like, politicians are known for being liars, but you're that excessive with it.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a whole Wikipedia page devoted to his false and misleading claims.
That is crazy.
And so, like, of course I had to click on the page. Because I'm thinking, I'm going to get some information.
No.
This page is so
it's saturated,
long,
isn't it?
I
already know.
You don't know what to pick and choose from.
I already know.
And like there's like a disclaimer at the top of the page. It says, this article may be too long to read and navigate comfortably.
Oh, dear.
Consider splitting contents into sub-articles, condensing it, or adding subheadings.
I wonder if there's any other Wikipedia page that has that disclaimer. I'm going to have to look into that.
Probably not.
That is insane. It is insane.
It is insane, Ronni Cole. But I just wanted to go over like some of his more recent misleading claims leading up to Election Day.
Oh.
On the final days of his 2024 campaign, Trump repeated false claims at a North Carolina rally that FEMA had not responded to Hurricane Helene, despite FEMA deploying 1,700 staff members and approving over $100 million in aid. Trump also claimed FEMA spent all their money on illegal migrants.
Insane.
Through the but the agency has like separate funds for disaster relief and migrant assistance.
Yes.
And I just think this is something that is so serious. These people, a lot of them, they've lost everything. And he's just talking shit. He's not.
It's starting to be annoying, even to like members of the Republican Party.
Yes.
Because like the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp, he's the Republican. I think he's Republican. But anyway, he was saying that when Trump was saying that there was no aid relief, and that Governor Kemp had been trying to get in touch with Biden, and Trump was like, well, he hasn't been answering the phone for him.
Stop it.
And Governor Kemp's like, he kind of sent us what we needed 2 days before the storm even came. Like, we were ready.
No, they see
or
that.
You're lying.
They see Trump's number come up and then don't answer that. Let it go to voicemail.
I love it. I love it.
Oh my God. Another thing that he, of course, is making false claims about is illegal immigrants. He claimed that
He's obsessed.
Yes.
With the immigrants.
Yes.
He's obsessed.
He claimed over 13,000 murderers crossed the border under Biden. So that number includes immigrants with homicide convictions from past decades, including the Trump term, and those that are also they're already incarcerated. He also wrongly said foreign governments are releasing their prisoners to the U.S. despite evidence showing global prison populations increasing from 2021 to 2024.
So does he just make this? He just makes it up.
Yeah, it's like, where is he getting his information?
Right. Does he have a PR person?
Yeah, but I don't think he listens to what these people are telling him. Like even his...
He just doesn't care.
No, And
he doesn't care that we know that he's lying.
No, he doesn't.
He does not take this serious. How can they want him to be the leader?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
And then, he also misstated that there were 30,000 illegal migrants sent to Springfield, Ohio.
What?
Now, there are Haitian immigrants there, but they're there legally. And the number is more closer to 10 or 12,000.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country.
Oh my God.
Does that sound like somebody who should be in charge of our country?
Never. Ever.
I can't stand it anymore.
Never. And if they are...
Oh, shit. Hold on.
Oh, my God. Why can't the people eat the cats?
Nobody's eating cats and dogs.
But if they are, they might like it. But they're not just running up to a stray cat in the street and taking a bite out of him. That man is crazy. That's how he
They're
makes
sauteing them.
Yes. Batter it and fry it.
No, and I honestly, I can't stand it because, I guess I look at the immigration issues in a more humane way.
Yes,
these are human
absolutely.
beings.
Absolutely.
And I know there's probably some that are criminals, but guess what? Donald Trump's a criminal too.
Exactly. He's the biggest one of them all. All those felony charges. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. And then, I do think people should come to this country legally, even though technically, this land was stolen from...
Nobody's here legally, though.
No, they're not.
At this point, no, we're not. None of us.
So... they're human beings.
Yes, they are. And if they want to provide a better way of life for themselves and their families, I think there should be an opportunity for them to do so. I know more people who are not from or legally, quote unquote, legally here, who are more beneficial to society than people who were born and raised here. If they're willing to do, what needs to be done to take care of their families and do their jobs effectively, I don't see what the problem is.
I think a lot of Americans are entitled, and
Sure.
you have people from other countries who they don't have the same democracy that we do or the same opportunities that we do, and they come and they see
and they appreciate having a job. They appreciate being able to provide.
Yep. Well, Trump is also falsely claiming a whistleblower caused the Bureau of Labor Statistics to revise job numbers. In reality, the BLS routinely adjusts their data in August, and even a Trump-appointed economist confirmed that process. He also claimed another job revision was due to a whistleblower and that the October job report was delayed by Kamala Harris. But both were released as scheduled without interference. This man cannot accept reality.
He cannot. He lives in an alternate universe.
He does.
And that's why everything he says it with so much conviction, because he honestly wholeheartedly believes every word that comes out of his mouth.
He does. and he's one of those people, I think, that he thinks by making other people look bad, it makes him look good. And I don't think that's not. It's never the case. It just makes you look stupid.
It absolutely does.
Okay, moving on to another false claim of Trump. Trump falsely claimed that former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi sold Visa stock last week,
Oh my God.
followed by a major investigation announcement. In reality, the stock was sold by her husband over 2 months before the Justice Department filed a lawsuit against Visa in September, not last week. Trump also revived a false claim from his presidency, stating Pelosi could have gone to jail for tearing up his 2020 State of the Union address. However, experts say it was not illegal for her to do so, as her copy did not qualify as an official government record.
Yeah.
He really hates Nancy Pelosi.
For what though?
I
I was trying to figure it out.
Because I think she stands up to his BS, you know?
Yeah.
And like how you're actually like accusing her of insider trading.
She's like, stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it, stupid.
And she's not even in Congress anymore. Like she stepped down. So
well, she's 84.
Yeah.
I think she's 84.
Yeah, she's old. But it's like he's still like I
He's
watched
still
him
messing with her.
Yeah, I watched him the other night. He wanted to say so bad that he hated her, but like
He's such an a-hole.
He is. And like it blows my mind and I think it's so sad that there's so many adults out there that just go along.
They absolutely worship him.
Yes.
That is they're sick. They're all sick.
Yeah. Another claim he made is that he closed up that Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline, that project from Russia.
You do not have the jurisdiction. You are not in charge of that.
Well, I guess
can't
he did sign sanctions related to the pipelines about 3 years into his presidency, but it was already completed to 90%.
Insane.
And like I feel like he always says like Putin is afraid of him. Like I feel like he's in cahoots with him.
He absolutely is. I always said the same thing.
Yeah. I think he wants to be like Putin.
He does. Yeah. A tyrant.
But yeah, those are just some of the misstated topics that President Trump or former President Trump has, just been saying recently. And I think,
that's a very small piece of.
Oh God.
I can only imagine.
It's tiny.
It's
these little 5 things. Or whatever I said, No. He can become the first former president to be convicted of a felony.
So how?
So he was convicted of 34 felony counts in May.
Correct.
Okay.
Got that. He was convicted, but he's not been charged?
He has not been sentenced. No, he's been charged and convicted. He has not been sentenced.
He's not sentenced. Are they prolonging the sentencing because of the election?
Yes. And I think that's wrong because the judge said he wanted the election to be fair and he didn't want that to interfere with the
decision.
And I think that's insanity. It should interfere with the decision.
It should absolutely interfere. But the thing about it, like they just don't understand how strongly that the supporters of Trump feel. They don't care what he does.
No.
He can do no wrong in their eyes. So they're going to support him no matter what. And then the people who do follow him or the people who were following him, like whichever member of his team said whatever they said about Puerto Rican and Hispanic people, he lost a lot of people from that occurring.
Yeah.
So yeah, like if they're going to be with him, they're going to be with him. I don't think that this jail thing has anything to do with it. He's going to dig his own grave with his words.
And he went to the Supreme Court, and the court declared that a president is immune from prosecution when exercising the core powers of the presidency.
So he trying to get elected so he don't go to jail.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
Wait, that's messy. No. They need to hurry up and get him where he should be. 30. How many? It's 34.
34. And here's my thing. So even though the Supreme Court made this decision, and this was, I believe, after he was convicted, does he get to backpedal and say, okay, so now, you're going to have to overturn my conviction because the Supreme Court said no.
Yeah.
This was made after that.
Yeah.
And I honestly think, I feel like the president should be held to a higher standard.
Exactly. Or even if it's not a higher standard, the same standard as the people who he's allegedly, trying to be in control of and run.
Yeah, like
you can't make a law and then say, "Oh, this applies to everyone but you, Mr. President." Like, no.
But apparently he can.
That is great.
It blows my mind.
That is so not
It's
right.
just so. It's shady.
It's so American.
It is. It is. You got these people who out here who they commit like petty crimes or, and you're sending them letting them sit in county jail for 6 months waiting on a court date. And, it's just, it's garbage.
Yeah.
He's a convicted felon. And I just wondered, like, would he be able to vote as a felon? I thought the answer was no. Some states do impose restrictions on voting rights for felons, but most restore the right to vote after the individual has completed their sentence. So I guess it just depends on what state they're in. So
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought once you were a felon, you just weren't allowed to vote. Period.
So I'm
like, how can he vote and nobody else can vote?
Right. Right.
I know one of the main topics in the election is the economy, and I think the economy means different things to different people.
Yes, absolutely.
I feel like the rich people, the Republicans, their economy is the stock market and tariffs on goods that are imported and things like that. And then when you say the economy to me, I'm thinking, okay, can I pay my rent? Can I pay my utilities?
Food, to feed my family.
Exactly. So
the gas prices, because what is happening?
Yeah. And like I looked up, tried to find both of their economic plans. I found Kamala's. I was able to download a PDF, and hers looks awesome. Like her and Governor Walz want to create an opportunity economy. They want to cut taxes for working people.
Awesome.
They want to lower food and grocery costs. Awesome. They want there to be affordable health care.
Yes, things that we need to survive.
Yes, lower energy costs, protect consumers from junk fees and fraud, affordable housing, supporting small business, invest in American innovation, create security and opportunity for workers, create opportunities in communities across America. And I think that's such a very important thing. And I've always said this, like, I think it keeps a lot of kids out of trouble if they have a sense of community.
Absolutely.
So like,
a positive sense of community.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Get your kids involved in sports and different things in school and stuff like that. So that's a very important thing. They want to protect Americans' ability to retire with dignity, keep their Social Security.
Please, for the love of God.
I don't understand how anyone has the right to take that away from us. That's money that we've paid into.
It is so scary. The amount of power that they give to these misinformed people. Because I really feel like they're just not misinformed, or either they just don't care. Because they're already rich. Like, they don't have to worry about
I don't think they have to worry about. I don't think they care. Kamala wants to make our tax codes fair. Well, Trump, he's more concerned about tariffs, enacting tariffs on goods made in foreign countries, which, if you ask me, all it is going to raise the price of the goods that the other countries make.
Exactly.
Which is going to
it's going to make it worse.
Yeah. He wants to renew most of the 2017 Tax Cuts and Job Act that expires at the end of 2025. He wants to make those provisions permanent. The former president has also proposed excluding Social Security payments from income taxes, which may seem good to the people paying it, but when it's time for you to cash out on your Social Security, there's not going to be any money.
Not there.
Yeah. For housing, he's proposed
I don't know what we got to
using government owned lands. Most of this land is inhospitable or being used for national parks, wildlife refuges, or military bases. So you're gonna kick the animals out of their homes and
just he does not think anything through,
and he doesn't think as an average person. He's been wealthy his whole entire life. So it doesn't matter.
He got $1 million loan from his dad when he was 18.
$1 million.
$1 million loan. Do you have a million?
No.
You know how filthy stinking rich you have to be to loan $1 million to an 18-year-old? Oh
Never.
No, I wouldn't give my 30-year-old sister $10.
No, and you're too immature to handle that money, which of course he was. I mean, he's filed bankruptcy repeatedly. I'm like, I'm living my life all wrong.
Clearly.
Another key issue that can influence people's vote is abortion. I mean, it is such a hot topic. And like, how did we get here?
I'm so glad you said that. How did we get here? Because I was going to ask you, because I don't recall. Why is it such a thing? What occurred to make it?
Well, it's something that he wanted. He wanted to send the ability to have an abortion back to the states. Like for the states to say, okay, yes, this is what we do. But that's just one step closer to a national abortion ban. Yeah. And like, it's such a personal subject. And well, I don't necessarily believe in abortion as birth control.
Right.
Who am I to say what someone else does with their body?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you mean to tell me that if your sweet little 12-year-old, daughter gets raped by a disgusting, filthy,
perverted,
gross
old person. Yeah.
You're going to make them have that person's baby?
Exactly.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Because that'll never happen.
But I think these people, they've never experienced anything like that in their life. A lot of these people,
so they can't relate enough to do the right thing.
And then why is the government why is
that a government issue?
It's not. It's a healthcare issue.
Oh my God.
It's a healthcare issue. Let people do what they want to do. Like, they have to live with the choices that they make, and they have to be accountable.
Yes,
so why do you care, you old white man, about what all these people are doing?
What these people are doing.
Kamala, of course, she believes that women have a right to make decisions about their own bodies. Yeah. How about we do this instead of like women having to get abortions? Why don't we just make all these men get vasectomies?
That would be phenomenal.
And then when they're actually responsible enough to take care of kids,
we can reverse.
Then they can get the vasectomy reversed. I guarantee.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I guarantee that would be
Things
an
will
issue.
Change. Yeah. Things will change.
And men would be like, don't play with my body. Don't play with ours. It's just sickening. And it's funny. Like, I grew up in a very conservative household, and like, I thought that way for a long time. But then when you step out into the world and you see all the horrible things that can happen.
The horrible things. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's all I think about every time somebody talks about whether abortion should be banned or, like, I just think about all the people who I like personally know, like, thank God they were able to get the abortion, because it's very, very traumatic. And it's a very traumatic thing to experience and go through it as a woman.
Yeah.
But to know that if you don't, what the outcome could be is so... It is scary.
And I don't think that those decisions are made lightly. Like, these people aren't just like, oh, I'm pregnant, I'm going to get an abortion. Yeah. They really have to fight through a lot of things in their minds to make that decision.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
Keep your paws off our reproductive rights.
Please, because it's mine and I want to do with it.
That's right. Was there anything else you want to talk about the election?
No, I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
No, you can say whatever you want to say. This is your platform.
I'm nervous.
Why?
I am nervous. But I can say that the voter turnout has been a lot more active than I anticipated. Even because like a couple of times I went down like to the polls just to see what was going on, and it was like every day the line was like
that's awesome.
And I was that made me excited because I'm like, oh, these people are out here and they're voting, and I'm just like, but who are they voting
for? Exactly.
So I think that's the part that makes me nervous.
I honestly wasn't excited about this election at all when it was Biden and Trump, because I'm like, oh, this is just it's
so annoying.
This is boring and bland, but then when
old guys.
When Kamala got the nomination, it was exciting.
It was. Because it's a lady.
I know. I think
like we need that change of scenery, for lack of a better explanation. Like that's really what it is. Like, I don't feel like Biden did a horrible job, but I absolutely 1000% think he could have did a whole lot better.
Well, yeah, I think it was to me the number one thing, and I think with a lot of people too, is it's the economy. Like, people just they can't afford their housing, and they can't afford their food.
Exactly.
I've never, I worked in a grocery store for 20 years. I'd never seen food prices increase
the way that they have.
Yeah. It's scary.
It is.
I'm thankful I don't have kids to feed.
Seriously. That's a whole nother
It really
thing.
is, yeah.
Because like the help and the assistance is not like it used to be.
Nope.
Yep. Hopefully
we'll have a woman president.
Hopefully.
Oh, it's so exciting.
I'm so nervous.
I know, me too.
I just hope they don't.
And it sucks that like the
mistake.
election, it really won't be final until probably maybe like next week or whenever they actually get all these votes
because
counted.
They have to count. But do they not start counting early because they opened early?
It depends
voting.
on the states. Like, different states have different laws when it comes to elections. Like, some states couldn't start counting the early votes until till today or whatever. Like, if it was me and I was in charge of the election thing, I would have had them votes counted.
Listen, tally them up.
You ain't got to tell nobody, but I'd want to know. Okay, well, I just want to say thank you for listening to us give our political opinions.
Yes.
We want to do a Diddy episode really soon.
Oh, I'm so... Listen,
that's a lot to unpack right there.
It's so much to unpack.
It's like more than the election.
Every day I get another notification and another article and another development, and I'm just like, what is about to happen?
He's been doing dirt for a long time.
A very long time.
Yep.
And there are a lot of pieces and parts to the dirt. And there are a lot of characters that participated in the dirt. So yeah, it's an endless, ongoing list.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Be fun.
I'm ready.
All right. Well, you can always check us out at therealtalklineup.com or on Facebook and Instagram at Real Talk Lineup.
It's been real.